What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Rideshare Hub. My name's Greg. What I'm doing for you guys today is 20 secrets for new drivers. These are 20 secrets, tips, tricks, a lot of things that I've collected over the years that have allowed me to always make $20 an hour or more. I talk about that a lot, that my worst days are usually 17 and 18 bucks an hour, which is still, so much higher than minimum wage for one, but really incredible. So I'm going to go over 20 of these tips with you guys, and I really hope a lot of these help you guys out. So my number one is the sign-up guarantee, and the reason I bring this up, because obviously most people know about this, but if you're a newer driver and you forgot to use the sign-up guarantee, it's actually not too late. And I'm not gonna go on and on about this one too much. I'm just gonna leave a link in the description so that you guys can still possibly get that sign-up guarantee if you do qualify for it. But the next one is utilizing apps. So I usually shout out a really awesome app at the beginning of each video. I didn't on this one because I knew I was going to go over it here. But the number one I think is the best is GetUpside, and it's a gas saving app. And to put it in perspective, guys, like if you drive full time, you're going to fill up probably every single day on gas. Maybe every other day, depending on your vehicle and your gas mileage. But for the most part, for me, if I do 8+ hours, I usually need to fill up, or I'm pretty close to it, unless I just had insanely conservative rides. So GetUpside is great. Cargo Snack Box is another awesome one for making additional money. There's Firefly ads, Stereo. There's a lot of them, and I've done videos on all the apps you should be using. So utilizing apps, and even beyond just like the extra income generating apps. It's getting a little toasty in here. I'm just going to start this car up. But even just beyond utilizing the income generating apps, there's a lot of other apps that are really going to help you. Obviously, if you got to think like Apple Music or Spotify, like that's a must. Maybe Pandora if you're a broke boy like me. No, I'm just kidding. I do use Pandora though. Okay, so the next biggest tip is don't chase rides. Unless you know you're in like the absolute like boondocks, farm town, it really is never worth it to just be driving around aimlessly hoping you get pinged. You're not going to drive any closer to a ride than you more than likely were at your last location. The best thing you can do for the sake of your gas and the mileage in your car is to just pull over. And like I said, the only reason you're ever going to want to leave is if you're in a really bad area. But even then, a lot of times that'll be something big. Now, I'm in a pretty good market. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. It's nothing like spectacular, but it's good. And a lot of times, even when I'm like an hour out from the downtown area, I still won't leave because I might wait 20 minutes for a ride. But when I get one, it's usually like a 50-mile ride back into the city, and I'll make like 45 bucks off of it sometimes. And that's the equivalent of like 2 really strong hours. So I don't mind the wait, The next one, kind of along that note, is don't chase surges. I will say there are times where maybe you want to go after some, but it's got to be the ones that are concrete. So if you know that you've got a bar rush coming up, you're usually going to get a little more time on a surge like that. But even those can be fleeting. So in most cases, like, my general rule of thumb is I a lot of times won't go after something if it's more than like 7 to 10 minutes away. If let's say I put in the middle of the surge in my GPS and it says it's 9 minutes away, I'll probably drive towards that, because at the worst, it's low risk, high reward, basically. At the worst, I wasted 10 minutes of not taking rides to try and get to that surge. And if I end up getting an $8+ surge out of it, it's worth it. It was a good risk, But anything more than that, I just don't trust that it'll still be there. So if something's 15 minutes away, unless it's like a $20 surge or something really high, I'm probably not going to go over that. But like I said, you got to think more about like, what's the event going on? Is there a basketball game, a concert, a reason where it might be staying around a little bit? But if it's like just the middle of a weekday and you see a 450 surge, I wouldn't even drive more than 5 minutes for it, because it more than likely won't last. Let's see. The next thing is researching your market. This is something as a new driver I really wish I would have done, because knowing your market is everything. And there's more than likely an Uber driver in your city that has written an article about the best times and ways to drive in your city. So just do some quick Google searching, guys. Like, take 20 minutes and look into it, especially if you're a new driver, because I guarantee you'll get something really valuable out of it. Alrighty, the next biggest one, and this was a really tough one for me early on, but taking breaks. I early on was grinding out like these 60, 70 hour weeks. And I mean, what it was doing to my back, my knees, my neck, and really my overall health was really, really rough. So what I like to do is, if you're in a tight place and you can't really afford to take breaks, I would do airport rides once you've driven like 8 hours. Every 6 to 8 hours, I usually like to take at least like a 30-minute break and just kind of stretch, walk, do something. So a lot of times if I am on a budget, and it's a tight month, I'll go to the airport queue and I'll just get out of my car and just like walk around, stretch my legs. And when you get back in, you'll notice you'll feel so much better. Like, it really is a huge thing. If I'm 6'2", and my knees will get like really stiff from being basically at a 90-degree angle all day. So getting out and getting, a nice walk in, even just a light jog, is going to make all the difference when you're driving long hours. Next biggest thing is pack your lunch. And the biggest reason for this is the health. Like, you really don't want to be eating fast food every day. It's not going to make you feel good at all. And eventually, like, you'll really start to feel it. But the other thing is, fast food's really not as cheap as we think it is. If you're paying $8 for a combo meal, I guarantee you could have packed a healthier lunch that's cheaper than that in the long run. So pack your lunches, guys. It'll go a long way. One of the next things is getting high quality gas. When I first started, was a sucker for just buying the cheapest gas I could find. And then I watched this YouTube video. It was like an hour-long video about how low quality gas, you burn through it a lot faster, and it's bad for your tank. So going to good gas stations, you might pay more, like 5 to 10 cents more per gallon, but you're going to get a lot more out of it. And I actually noticed this too. Like, when I stopped buying like crappy gas and going to good gas stations, I really felt like I was getting better mileage per gallon. So do some research on that as well. Like I said, quick Google search in your market, like, hey, what gas stations in San Antonio, Texas have the highest quality gas? It's an easy thing you can, look up and learn on your own. Let's see. The next one is taking advantage of the maintenance program. So obviously, if you're qualifying for Uber Gold Rewards, or I know Lyft does do some maintenance programs. I think in Phoenix, they actually just opened their own little maintenance shop, Lyft did. But basically, saving every dollar you can on maintenance is really important. Another way to do this, if you don't have Gold Rewards or a good program, is Groupon. I can pretty much get a discounted oil change every time I need an oil change on Groupon, because there's like 40 different auto mechanics that offer deals on oil changes. So that's another way to just be, saving some money, cutting your expenses down. Utilizing gas discounts. The reason why I put this one on here is I feel like a lot of people don't really use their Uber and Lyft fuel rewards, but if you're saving 5+ cents per gallon every time you fill up, and you're filling up every day, that's going to actually be some really, really big savings. So don't think that you're not saving that much money if it's 5 cents a gallon. Like, that's still good money in the long run. Let's see. Next one is hitting consecutive trip bonuses. Learning how to really do those effectively is really important, but a lot of times it'll increase your earnings in a certain hour by another $15. So that's a really, really good way, especially on weekdays, to make some good money. I have a video on how to utilize consecutive trip bonuses, so make sure you check that out, and it'll go over all about how I've mastered them and make really good money using them. The next one is surge trips. So obviously, we all know what surging is, but again, doing surging the right way is really key. And again, I bring this one up because I also have a video on how I've maximized surge rides with destination trips. So check out that video as well. Just do a quick YouTube search and it'll pop up. And it's going to break down for you exactly how I make really good money utilizing surge rides. The next one is gold rewards. Uber gold rewards are incredibly important. For one, the biggest feature it unlocks is the ability to see where your ride is going before you pick it up. That is super, super awesome. The next really amazing thing that it offers is you get quicker pickups at the airport if you're dropping someone off. So like for my airport, it takes kind of a few minutes to even just navigate outside of it. So if I can get a ride right away, I know that's maximizing my dollar per hour. Let's see. Next thing is prioritizing health and sleep. I got really bad about this when I first started driving, and a lot of times I wasn't getting like straight 6 hours of sleep. I would get like 3 to 4 hours in the morning and go work the morning rush, and then I would get like 3 to 4 hours at night before I would start the morning rush again. And that was really like me just taking 2 big naps, and it affected my body very fast. Like I started really noticing it. So make sure you're taking care of your health. With all this sitting, like there are drivers that have gotten blood clots in their knees. So you want to be getting into a health club or a gym, at least 2-3 times a week. And you don't have to be lifting crazy weights. Just do some jogging, an elliptical, some leg exercises, anything to get your legs moving so that you just keep really good circulation in your legs. It's incredibly important. Let's see. The next one is prioritizing Uber over Lyft. This might be dependent on your market, but everywhere I've been, Uber is way stronger than Lyft, and you're going to want to always focus on it. Let's see. Mastering airport rides is really important. Learning your airport well is going to go a long way because I personally rely on airport rides a lot, and you'll understand why I do if you start giving a lot of them. Airport rides are incredibly powerful for, making really good money. Next one is doing 1 to 2 a.m. driving on the weekends. If you're able to get out on the weekends at 1 to 2 a.m., you're going to see that just even in those times, plugging in my charger real quick, just even in those times, like you can make like sometimes $100 to 2 hours driving from like 1 to probably we'll say actually more like 2 to 3 a.m. Getting out there at those times, I mean, good Lord, you can just really make some good money. The next one is networking. Networking is insanely powerful through Uber and Lyft. I've made some unbelievable business connections through Uber and Lyft through different rides I've given. Next thing, make it a side hustle. I really don't recommend full-time driving unless it's like a seasonal thing or a temporary thing. But if you're just going to be a full-time driver all year, I just talked to a guy recently. He did 60,000 miles in 6 months. And I can vouch for this because I've had single months where I put 10,000 miles on my car. It is very doable to have 120,000 miles on your car after 1 year if you're really like grinding like crazy full-time. That's why I say don't do it. Relying on this for side income for an extra $1,000 a month or we'll say like $400 a week. That's the best way to do it, All right. My final tip for you guys is just relax. The biggest thing that would happen to me early on is I would get so frustrated with rides, traffic, whatever it was. And a lot of times it would just ruin my day and I'd end up quitting early. Just relax, have fun with this. Don't let people stress you out. Don't let the driving stress you out. More than likely throughout your day, the hours are going to make up for themselves. So just remember that. And yeah, so that was my 20 tips, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I will talk to you guys soon.